Hey, guys, what is up? This is Kendra with Signing Agent Basics, joining you guys again live, another YouTube live stream. This is like my favorite part of the month when I get to come and hang out with you guys live. And as always, guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I know it's your Saturday. You're probably either chilling or working, and it really does mean a lot to me that you guys come and spend some time with me to learn how to be more productive and profitable signing agents. Well, look, guys, I am super excited today because I'm going to talk to you about a topic that's not really all that exciting, but we really need help and information on when we are self-employed people. And again, as a signing agent, you are self-employed, you are an independent contractor. And one of the things that's not a lot of fun to deal with that we all need to know about is how to handle our taxes. Guys, I'm not ashamed to tell you, I've messed this up for many, I don't even want to tell you how many years it's been that I have messed this up, but I finally got my tax life together, and it is all because of the awesome tax professional that I have joining us today. Because look, I ain't stingy. I found somebody with some good information, so I want to give that information to you guys so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. So we're going to go on ahead and jump on in. The topic of today's live stream is how to handle taxes for notary signing agents. I'm going to bring my tax professional on in just a bit, but you guys know we got to do a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning of all of the videos. So first, whether you are watching this video live or whether you are watching the replay, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell. That lets me know that you guys like these types of videos. And then when you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you are notified every time that I go live or drop a new video. I always have people ask me after the live stream, when is the next time you're going to go live? To find out, all you have to do is subscribe and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel. So make sure that you do that. The next thing, you guys know, I'm always excited to find out where people are joining me from. So again, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching the replay, do me a favor, let me know down in the chat what city and state you are from, first of all, and then let me know whether you are an aspiring signing agent. That means that you have not done any loan signings yet. You're just checking this whole signing agent thing out. Let me know if you are a new signing agent. That means you've been doing this signing agent thing for a year or less. Or let me know if you are a veteran signing agent. You've been doing this thing for more than a year. You got it down, but you're always up for some new information. So again, down in the chat, let me know what city and state you are from, whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. And then, guys, I need y'all to be my assistant. I need y'all to do me a little favor. Help a sister out. Yes, the replay of this video will be available. But there's always some people who come in a little bit late, and they always want to know if the replay is going to be available. So please, if you happen to see somebody in the chat ask, is the replay going to be available? Help me out. I'm going to put y'all on my unofficial payroll. Go ahead and let them know that the replay will be available. Let's see who we've got hanging out with us today. We've got Joanne Farr. Thanks, Joanne. Good to see you. We got Terry C. I appreciate you too, girl. Thank you so much. We've got Yesenia Douglas. What's up, girl? We've got Michelle Fogel Ballard from Stanford, North Carolina. We've got A3 Notary Services from Wayne, Pennsylvania. We got folks from Columbus, Ohio, an aspiring signing agent. We got folks from Louisville, Kentucky, a new notary signing agent. Guys, as you're coming in, again, whether you are watching live or on the replay, please do me a favor. Let me know where you are from and whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. So then, guys, I know this is a great topic. So I already know you guys are going to have questions, but if you can, please do me a favor. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So if you can, please, please, please try to hold your questions until the end of the video. The other thing I want to remind you guys, again, I know you're going to have a ton of questions, so we may or may not be able to answer all of the questions during the video. If for some reason we're not able to answer questions during the live stream, I'm going to do my best to go back and answer your questions later. Man, we got tons of folks jumping on. People from everywhere. All my Texas people are in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Texas is representing. Keep on coming in, guys, and telling me where you are from. And as always, guys, you know that I always have tons and tons of good information for you that I put in the description box of the YouTube video. But then I always have people ask me, where the heck is the description box? So if you are watching this on YouTube on your computer, underneath the video, underneath the title of the video, you are going to see the word more. Click the word more to go to the description box. Now, if you're like me or you're like most people, you're probably watching this on your cell phone or your mobile device. To find the description box, then again, you're going to look down underneath the video, underneath the title. You're going to see the word more 2 times. You're going to click on more, and then you got to click on more again. So you need more. Click both those mores. And then that is going to open up the description box. I've got tons and tons of links for you guys. Stuff that we're going to be talking about today, as well as the freebies that I have for you. And then the freebies that I always have for y'all. First, the free new signing agent checklist. Whether you are a new signing agent or an aspiring signing agent, you definitely want to download this checklist. That's one of the things people always ask me is, what are the steps that I need to take to become a signing agent? Well, I've got a free checklist for you guys that you can download to tell you step by step what you need to do to become a signing agent. And then the next thing I have for you that I just did last month that I've added is a free AI guide for notaries. Guys, look, AI, artificial intelligence, chatbots are all becoming part of our daily tools. So it's something that we need to learn to use for our business. And I have a free guide to help you learn how to use AI in your business. Woo! Oh, one more thing. I've been talking a lot already, but still, one more thing. I want you guys to go back. Make sure you check out the previous video that I did about how to handle your income taxes. I've got a tax professional on today that's going to tell us the different things that we need to do to set our businesses up properly and how to handle our taxes properly. But I did a video about this subject several years ago. And the thing that I want you guys to definitely check that video out for is all of the different things that I did wrong. I did a lot of stuff wrong. I screwed up my taxes bad. And I don't want y'all to screw it up. So please go back, check out that video so you can hear about all of the things that I did wrong to make sure that you get them right for your business. All right. Woo! That was a lot. But now, without further ado, I am going to bring on our special guest for today. Our guest is my personal favorite awesome tax professional, Chryl Levels. She owns Levels Business Service LLC. And I'm going to let Chryl tell you more about who she is and what she does. Go for it, Chryl.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. So, as Kendra said, I own Levels Business Service. I'm an enrolled agent, so I handle a lot of tax work, tax preparation. If you're being audited by the IRS, I handle that. So I'm basically a tax expert. On top of that, I do bookkeeping and payroll for businesses, new business setups, anything business-wise, I pretty much handle.
Perfect. So one of the things that Chryl said in there is that she is an enrolled agent. And you'll see this title after her name. It's going to say EA. And look, I'm not ashamed to admit, I didn't know what an enrolled agent is, but your girl is an expert Googler. So I Googled it and found it on the IRS website. So guys, an enrolled agent is a person who has earned the privilege of representing taxpayers before the IRS by either passing a 3-part comprehensive IRS test covering individual and business tax returns, because guys, that's us. We need some business tax return help, or through experience as a former IRS employee. Enrolled agent status is the highest credential the IRS awards. Individuals who obtain this elite status must adhere to ethical standards and complete 72 hours of continuing education courses every 3 years. Now, guys, look, one of the things that I told y'all in my first video that I'm going to tell you again is that you really, really, really need to get a tax professional to help you with your taxes. Your cousin Ray, who just started preparing taxes 2 weeks ago, is not going to be able to really help you out and minimize your tax liability. You are going to want to find a tax professional. You're going to want to find an enrolled agent. So we're going to go on. Cheryl's got some information prepared for us that she is going to talk to us about. And the first is, how can a tax professional assist you? Please let them know. Please.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull this slide up because I'm looking at the screen, y'all, and I'm kind of older, so I can't see. So you might see me looking off to the side here. So how can a tax professional assist you? So first of all, tax laws change every single year. Every single year they're changing. So you might miss out on tax advantages if you're not keeping up with the tax laws. We can help you find out how to set up your business, what's best for you tax-wise on set up your business, and implications that might be with that, because there are different business structures. We'll get into that later. They can help you understand self-employment tax, help you understand your deductions, which you can deduct because there's different laws with the deductions. And the tax forms may become complicated. Like when you depreciate a vehicle, there's several tax forms that go with business tax returns. So that may become a little complicated. And important tax planning, like, so you're not owing too much to the IRS. No one wants to pay the IRS. So to get around that, not necessarily get around it, but, cut your liability. Now, here's an important thing. And I've heard so many horror stories about people getting their taxes done. Anyone can prepare taxes that has a P10 with the IRS. So you really have to beware and do your due diligence when you're searching for a tax preparer. So the IRS, there's a link there, has a site where you can go on there and you can check the credentials for CPAs, enrolled agents, and lawyers. If you're in a tax situation, you need to hire a lawyer or an enrolled agent. You could check the credentials there. And you also want to be aware that all CPAs do not do tax work. CPAs normally do accounting work, but there are a lot that do taxes. So if you're looking to get a CPA, just question if they've worked with your industry before, more importantly.
Awesome. And guys, again, I got to tell y'all a little bit of my backstory and how I messed stuff up to let you know how important it is to find a tax professional and how you can't just use, the first accountant or the first person who says they do taxes. So for many years, I had a CPA doing my taxes. They're an accountant. They knew how to plug the numbers in. But the thing that a lot of us like about being self-employed, or we think about when we're being self-employed, is being able to minimize the taxes that we owe. While my CPA was definitely able to plug numbers in and prepare my tax returns, he was not able to help me structure my business in a way that was going to minimize the amount of taxes that I was going to pay. He wasn't able to help me structure everything to help me pay less taxes. Great guy, nothing against him, but I paid more taxes than I needed to because he did not have that level of expertise. And then I searched to search for another tax professional. I got a referral from a friend. This person is also self-employed. They used a tax professional. They referred that person over to me. Great person. But even when somebody is a tax professional, a tax preparer, they may work great for your friend. They may not work great for you. So you're really going to need to take the time to find the right tax professional for you and your situation. All right, what's our next thing we got going on when we're trying to get these taxes right?
Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you start your business is decide the structure, how you want to structure a business. There's several ways you can. So a DBA is an assumed business name that's normally filed with your county, and that's typically taxed as a sole proprietorship. And let me touch on this. It's not on the slide because a lot of people think just because you have a business, there's going to be a separate tax return for that, but not when you have a DBA. That is going to be on your personal tax return. Your business income is on that tax return. It's not a separate tax return. So then you could be an LLC, and a lot of people don't know this. This is not a tax classification. LLCs are designed for liability protection to protect your assets. Now, if you're a single member LLC, you're the only one that owns your LLC, it's going to be taxed as a sole proprietorship. So that's going to be on your personal tax return. If it's more than one member, say you partner with somebody, it's going to be on a partnership return. It's automatically default with the IRS. Now, you can elect to be an S Corp with the IRS, but you really want to see what else is going on with you financially. You want to talk to somebody before you make that election because there's certain rules when you decide to make that S Corp election. It's one of my favorite elections, but you really need to know your financial situation and what your goals are when you do that.
Awesome. So again, I know even though you just explained the differences, a lot of people have this question automatically, or they just automatically assume as soon as they start a business that they have to have an LLC. Do you
No,
have to have an LLC?
no, you don't have to have an LLC. You can have a DBA. You don't necessarily need a DBA. You can work under your own name, but you have to use your social security number. So I just don't advise that.
Awesome. So again, guys, that's one of the questions I get all the time. Do I have to get an LLC? You do not have to. You can start off with the DBA. I do suggest you do that as well, like Cheryl said, because then you can use an EIN and you don't have to give out your social security number, because we do have to give a tax ID number out to a lot of different companies that we work with. And you don't want to have your social out there in those streets like that. So it's better to have an EIN, get a DBA and have an EIN. You can get an LLC. It's going to be preference. Again, talk to your tax professional. One is not necessarily better or worse than the other. You just need to know what your goal is so you can get the right thing for you. Awesome. All right. And then after we've done that, what's our next step?
We're going to set up the EIN. We just touch on that briefly. So once you decide your business structure, whether it be a DBA or LLC, you want to get an EIN. Number. So it works as a social security number for your business. And like Kendra said, we don't want your social out there in the streets. Not everyone needs that. So again, if you decide not to do a DBA or LLC, you can work as an independent contractor and use your social, but I'd recommend just setting up the DBA.
And guys, for those of you who may not know, getting your EIN is totally free. Yes. So all you have to do is go to the IRS website. Again, I already got you. I got a link down in the description box to take you to the page on the IRS website where you can get your EIN for free. So if you're Googling and you see something that says that you have to pay for an EIN, that is not correct. You do not have to pay for it. It is absolutely free. All right. What we got next here? Next. Ooh, finances. Tell them about it.
This is a big one. This is a big one, y'all. So when you set up a business, even if you're just doing it as an independent contractor, you always want to set up a separate bank account to track your income and expenses. I've done so many audits where people were being audited and they didn't have a separate bank account for their business. So what happens is the IRS will subpoena their bank records and their personal stuffs on there. So it's red flags. You're giving them opportunity to see more into your life than they need to be. So you really need a separate bank account when you start.
Awesome. And then something that I did want to add on to that. So guys, you're going to want to open up a business bank account. So again, you're going to have a personal account, you're going to have your business bank account, but shop around for your business bank account. Different banks and different credit unions are going to have different fees. They might have different benefits, that kind of stuff. So check obviously with wherever you're banking already to see what the fees and the benefits of a business bank account through them may be, but definitely shop around. And definitely look at credit unions. I know a lot of people tend to overlook credit unions. We think banks and we don't always think credit unions. A lot of times with your local credit union, they do require a membership, but most of the time, if you live in that area, you are normally able to get the membership to be able to use the credit union. And I've personally found that the fees are lower oftentimes at credit unions than they are at banks. So when you're looking to open up your business bank account, definitely shop around. And you will need to have your EIN that we talked about before this in order to get your business bank account. So make sure you've got your EIN and then use that to open up your business bank account. Awesome. All right. So next step, deductions. Everybody
Okay,
likes deductions.
here we go. So you can deduct just about anything that you use for business. And this is not a full list. This is just some of the things you can deduct, like office supplies, notary fees, your software fees, dues and subscription, client meals. I want to talk about this one because a lot of people think, oh, I was at work and I went to eat, I can deduct it. No, it has to be with the client and with a business intent. Now, they don't have to become a client, but the intention has to be there for you to write it off. And that's only 50% deductible. So if you pay $10 for a meal, you can only write off $5 of it. It's only 50%. Another big thing for you guys is miles. Miles add up to a big deduction. So you need to keep track of that. And you can use apps like Mile IQ or QuickBooks. And you also want to keep track of your actual expenses for your car, such as the gas, insurance, car repairs, and maintenance. Now, the things with actual expenses for your cars and miles, you can only write off one or the other. So either you're going to write off your miles or actual expenses. So this is something that you need to talk to your tax preparer about, which one's better for you. So for clothes, this is another thing. People think because they bought clothes to wear for work, they can deduct them. You cannot. It has to be considered a uniform. So if you get your logo on that piece of clothing, then you can deduct that. And there's a whole bunch of other deductions you need to talk to your tax preparer about.
Now, one of the other misconceptions that a lot of people have, and I'll admit it, was a misconception that I had when I first became self-employed. Now, I'll hear people say this all the time. They get excited when they start their own business and they're like, ooh, basically every dollar that I pay for office supplies, I can deduct that from my taxes. And so we tend to think that, okay, so if I would normally owe $5,000 in taxes, but I spend $2,000 on office supplies, now I only got to pay $3,000 in taxes. Sounds good. I kind of wish it worked that way.
Wish it
but
did.
It don't.
So let me
How
touch
does
on
it
that.
actually work?
Let me touch on that and tell you how it actually works. So let's say you have $25,000 that you made, right? And you write off $1,000 in office supplies. So now you owe 24. Well, your income is 24,000. That's your net income. So you're taxed off of your net income. So just because you wrote off $1,000 in office supplies is not going to reduce your tax liability by 1,000. It doesn't work that way. There's a whole formula for calculating your net income on your taxes.
So we do want to keep track because it is a deduction. It will give us savings. But the biggest thing, guys, I want y'all to know, because again, this was a misconception that I had, is that it's not a dollar for dollar thing. You just don't get to go spend money all willy-nilly for your business and then say, oh, well, I spent $5,000, so that's $5,000 less in taxes I'm going to pay. Don't work like that. And again, let the tax professionals figure out how it works. I'm gonna toot my own horn. I think I'm a pretty smart person. I think I'm a pretty intelligent person. I'm usually able to figure most things out. Cheryl can tell you the 1 year that I tried to do my taxes myself. Look at her shaking her head already. Tried to do my taxes myself by copying what my previous tax preparer did. I'm thinking I did such a fabulous job. I'm thinking, oh, this is a piece of cake. Why these people get paid so much money? This ain't no problem. And she was like, don't you ever, ever in your life try to do your taxes
It didn't
again.
make any sense. I was like,
I'm
where did you
telling
get
you
this?
guys, it's a different train of thought. It's a different process. Things that we think are common sense or it should work this way, it just doesn't work that way. So you absolutely want to leave this to the professionals. Awesome. All right. So then taxes that we need to be aware of, because we got to pay some taxes, y'all. I don't want to, but here it is.
One of the cool things about you guys, though, is notarial fees. So you don't pay self-employment tax on that. There's not too many businesses when you're self-employed that you don't pay self-employment tax on. So that's pretty impressive because that's a high tax to pay, self-employment tax. So you need to account for that separately. If you have notarial fees, that needs to be different from your other income in your business because, like I said, it's not subject to self-employment tax. And that tax is 15.3%. So that's a big savings right there. And then you need to be aware of estimated tax payments. This is how you pay your taxes. Normally, when you're working at a job, you get a W-2 and they're paying half of your taxes and you're paying the other half of your paycheck. When you're self-employed, you're responsible to send those taxes to the IRS. And those are the estimated tax payments.
Awesome. So again, guys, and I remember it's been a minute since I had a W-2 job, but it was easy when I had a W-2 job because the employer pretty much handles all of that stuff. So you really don't have to think about you're paying estimated taxes throughout the year. You're paying these taxes ahead of time, but you're not doing it. Somebody else is kind of taking care of the legwork of it for you. And then at the end of the year, you file for your tax refund and then you get your money back. Well, when you're self-employed, you are the employer. So the thing that your employer used to do in sending that money or setting that money aside for those estimated taxes, you are now responsible for. And that's a big thing. Because trust me, the IRS want their money. And they know when you ain't sending them their money. And the one government agency you don't want to be on the bad side of is the IRS. Trust me, it is no fun. So I did want to go a little bit more in depth in estimated tax payments because the first word of it is estimated. So you're sending in kind of what you think you're going to need to pay for your taxes. And this is another one of the questions that I get all the time. People will ask, okay, I know I need to make these estimated tax payments. So how much should I set aside for my estimated tax payments? Cheryl, what do you think? What should people do?
So for that, so how it's based off is your net income. So after you deduct all your expenses, you want to estimate your tax off of that amount. I would say starting off 10%, like set that aside for your estimated tax payments. When you make them quarterly, that's made quarterly, and you can make them on the IRS website, which I think Kendra's about to touch on that for us. She got me.
So, but going back to how much to set aside. So I kind of want to help people because again, tax people, like all of this is so common sense to them. I like to slow down and break it down because I still don't even
That's
really.
why I did go fast.
I be messing up sometimes still. So I want to slow down. So let's say I made $2,000 net 1 month. So that's my net income. Right. If I set aside 10% of that, so $200, that's a good estimate. That's a good starting point to set aside or to send in for my estimated tax payments. Now, again, guys, I'm going to give you the caveat. Please get your own tax professional. Your tax professional will be able to help you hone in a more exact amount or estimate for you to do. But if you don't have a tax professional, if you don't know where to start, 10% of your net income is a good starting point. And again, just to give a real life example, if you make $2,000 net, then you want to pay about $200 for your estimated tax payments. And then, as Cheryl said, tax payments are to be made quarterly. Now, I pulled this chart directly from the IRS website. And again, I've got the link down in the description box so you can look at it as well. But basically, the due dates are April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. So you want to make sure that you have your estimated tax payments for each quarter in by that time. Now, like everybody else, the IRS is never mad at you if you send them money early. People are always mad when your money late, but nobody's ever mad when your money is early. And one of the things that I always have people always ask me, Kendra, what do you do? So again, you do not have to do this. This is what Kendra does in her situation. I personally send in estimated taxes monthly. I like doing that monthly calculation. So just like I just gave that example, if I make $2,000 in 1 month, at the end of that month, I make an estimated tax payment of $200. If I make $3,000 the next month, that next month, I send in an estimated tax payment of $300. I do that every single month. The math is just easier for me. I don't have to worry about saving up and then sending it in quarterly. I don't have to worry about missing it because I just do it monthly. Again, this is what I do. You don't have to do that, but that's an example of something that you can do to help you make sure that you're getting in your estimated tax payments on time. And then, how do you make these payments? Because again, I know most of us are used to being W-2 employees. We're used to just getting a refund. When you become self-employed and now all of a sudden you got to pay the IRS, you're like, first of all, it's no fun. And then the second thing is, okay, well then how do I pay the IRS? See, the dogs don't even like paying the IRS. I ain't even mad at them.
I had
They
to
don't even like it. Nobody like it, but we got to do it so we stay out of trouble. So you got a lot of different options, guys, as far as how you can pay the IRS. You can mail in payment, but for real, like who really mails in stuff anymore? You can pay online. That's what most of us are going to do. And you actually have a few different options if you want to pay online. You can go directly to the IRS website. You will need to create an IRS online account. It's not hard, but then you can make your payment directly on the IRS website. The IRS also has something called the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System. The acronym for that is EFTPS. And with that, you can actually schedule payments. So again, people always ask, y'all be in my business. People always ask, Kendra, what do you do? I personally make my payments through EFTPS. I like to be able to schedule the payment. I can go back, see all my payment history, all of that good stuff. So I personally use EFTPS. You can also use the IRS To Go app and make payments using your mobile phone. I personally have not used that app yet, but again, I'm sure it works great because the IRS won't show money. So you can pick whichever one of those options that you want, but just make sure that you get your estimated tax payments in on time. And actually, Cheryl, something we didn't discuss, what happens if you don't get your estimated tax payments in? I see the face. What happens? What happens?
Like anything else with the IRS, they're going to hit you with a penalty and a late fee.
So penalties and fees, and they ain't no fun. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting these estimated tax payments in. And then again, if you got a great tax professional, if you structured your business properly, it's going to be like being a W-2 employee. At the end of the year, hopefully you're going to get some of that money back in the form of a refund, but make sure you're getting your estimated tax payments in on time. All right. So then, how are we keeping track? We're keeping track of all this stuff.
We're going to keep track of this with accounting software. I'm going to tell you guys, there's one thing that I don't like during tax time is when someone brings me all of their receipts and wants me to add them up for their deductions, and we're trying to figure out the income from bank statements and credit card statements. Normally when that happens, there's tax deductions that are missed because it's not organized. So some tax software that you can use is QuickBooks Online. I highly recommend that because you can link your bank account to it and it pulls in all of your transactions easily, and your accountant can be linked to it too to see what you're doing. You can use Sage, Xero, Notary Gadget, but you're just going to need to research to see what works best for you when it comes to accounting software.
Awesome. And guys, I'm going to tell you, get into the habit of basically keeping your books in this accounting software, because again, this is one of these things we're not used to. Your tax preparer can also keep your books, but like anything else, they're going to charge you more money if they're also having to keep your books for you. And this is something that you can do the bulk of the work yourself, especially with QuickBooks, especially with Notary Gadget, that kind of stuff. You just need to pick an accounting software and use it. And again, talk to your tax professional. Y'all, this is a collaborative effort. You guys are working together. So you need to talk to your tax professional and say, hey, I'm thinking about using Notary Gadget. Hey, I'm thinking about using QuickBooks. What do you think? What is the best thing for us to use together? So talk to your tax professional about that. But of course, guys, as always, I got stuff for you. I got links down in the description box. People always ask me, again, y'all be in my business, but I'm going to share this with you. I personally use QuickBooks for my accounting. And like Cheryl said, she has access to my QuickBooks. I still mess it up all the time. Hallelujah. She still goes in sometimes and helps a sister out because I be making all kinds of mistakes and she's laughing at me, but it's true. But she's able to go in, help me out, help get things straightened out. I do have a discount code for you guys. If you want to try QuickBooks, it will save you 30% for the first 6 months. So Simple Start is like their lowest level for the online services. It's normally $30 a month. If you use the link that's down in the description box, you will get it for $21 a month for the first 6 months. Now, there's other accounting software because, again, you don't have to use QuickBooks. One that's very, very popular is Notary Gadget. And Notary Gadget is great for notaries and signing agents as well. The thing for Notary Gadget, you actually get to try it out totally free. So you will get your first 15 signings absolutely free through Notary Gadget. You don't even have to give them a credit card or anything. So you can play with it, check it out, see if it works for you. After that, it is $9.95 a month. And I do have a link for you down in the description box for Notary Gadget as well. And again, talk to your tax professional. Which one is going to be better for you is going to depend on your personal situation. So I can't say which one is going to be better for you. QuickBooks works better for me. One, my accountant likes it. Enough said for me. Like, I'm like, cool, that's because I need all the help I can get. My accountant likes it. But I also do a lot of other things. I subcontract to other notaries. I have other arms of my business. And so it's a lot easier for me to use QuickBooks for all of my accounting versus Notary Gadget, because Notary Gadget is really specific for notaries. But if you're a notary signing agent, if this is your main business, side hustle, whatever, Notary Gadget may work great for you. Which one is going to be easier for you? Again, is going to be totally up to you. I'm going to tell you, the one that's going to be easier for you is the one that you take the time to learn how to use. There's going to be a learning curve for both of them. So it's going to be whichever one you take the time to learn to use. Notary Gadget is more simple because it doesn't do as much stuff as QuickBooks. But again, you need to check them out. Play with Notary Gadget. Like I said, you get those first 15 signings for free, see what works for you, and talk to your tax professional to see which software is going to work best for you and your business. And again, guys, I know we talked about it at the beginning, but I'm going to stress it again. Please, 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 please get a tax professional. I know a lot of times when people are starting off as signing agents, when people are starting off with their new business ventures, your budget is tight. My budget was tight, which is part of the reason why I didn't get an accountant, tax professional back when I first started. But I'm going to tell you guys, legit, the amount of money that I lost from not having a tax professional help me with my taxes is way, 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 way more than I would have spent on a tax professional to help me get my business set up properly and minimize my my tax liability. And so again, Cheryl, do you have any suggestions? I know they can go onto the IRS website. Do you have any suggestions, or again, what other questions can people ask a potential tax professional when they're trying to find someone to help them do their taxes?
I think more importantly, you should ask for credentials. You want to use someone that has credentials. I can't stress that, because anybody could have a P10 light. You really need to find someone that has credentials. And I would ask if they've worked in your field before. Have they done tax returns in your field? How many have they done? Those are the important questions.
Awesome. I know people ask me all the time, well, what's another way that I can find referrals? So we as signing agents are in a business where we're working with a lot of other people who are self-employed. A lot of mortgage brokers are self-employed. A lot of real estate agents are self-employed. You should be marketing and talking with these people anyway to try to build a business relationship with them. Once you've got a business relationship built with them, them, hey, who does your taxes? Do you have a tax professional that you can refer to me? So don't be afraid to ask around. The other thing I want to tell you guys, and again, from my personal experience, do not be afraid to change tax professionals if the person that you are with is not giving you the results that you believe you should be able to get. And if nothing else, have a conversation with them and be like, hey, this doesn't seem like I'm getting the most benefits out of this. Why is that? Help me to understand. Do not be afraid to ask questions, and do not be afraid to change. Again, I had the wrong person doing my taxes for years, honestly, because he was just the person who had done my family's taxes for years. He was he felt like an uncle to me. And I kind of felt bad going, I'm going to find somebody else to do my taxes. But guys, when I say I have literally lost tens of thousands of dollars over those years that I had the wrong person doing my taxes. And I can promise you, you're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars when you have the wrong person. And that wrong person may be you. Again, I know a lot of you think you can learn everything you need to know on YouTube. You can learn everything on the internet. I promise you guys, go ahead and get that tax professional, because I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm going to say it's not probable. You are probably not going to be able to do this yourself. So please, please, please find a tax professional.
And I want to say on that too, it's important that they're able to explain your taxes to you. You want to find someone that can explain what's going on and why your amount is the way it is, why you owe. That's helpful.
Exactly. So guys, look, if they can't tell you why, then they are not the person for you. All right, guys. So we've gotten through the presentation. I've seen some questions. I'm going to scroll back up and see what we got. But now we are at the official question and answer section of this video. So this is the time. If y'all have questions for a tax professional, please do not be afraid. Put them in the chat. There's no dumb questions. I promise you, if you have a question, somebody else has that same question as well. And I'm going to also say, I probably had that question. I might still have that question and don't even know that I got that question. So while you guys are typing, I'm going to scroll up and see if there was any other questions that were asked. And there was still, I see so many people from so many different places all over. I'm so excited. Okay, so we had a question here from Beanie Cunningham. Can you write off training related to notary signing or other notary certification? So a lot of times we pay for signing agent training, like my signing agent advanced training program. Miss Cheryl, can they write?
Absolutely, you can write that off. It goes under continuing education. Sure can. That was a great question.
That was quick and simple. I thought it was going to be deep. She's like, yep, do it.
Either it's a yes or a no most of the time.
All right. And then we have another question. So I think we're going to talk a little bit more, because again, LLCs and S Corps, it's a little confusing to our brains. And I'm with you. So we've got a question here from Lisa Irving. Can I do an S Corp instead of an LLC to avoid the self-employment tax?
Yeah, you can do an S corp. Well, normally you have to do an LLC to do the S corp. So you file a LLC and you elect with the IRS to do an S corp. Now, with that, there's certain rules when you file for S corp status. Like you have to give yourself a paycheck at a reasonable salary. So again, you need to look at your financial situation before you decide that. Are you able to give yourself a paycheck at a reasonable salary? You definitely want to get consultation with a tax preparer if you decide to do that.
Awesome. So
Step
LLC and S corp are related. You generally need to have an LLC in order to elect
to be
for
taxed.
the S corp for
Mhm.
tax purposes. So it's often not an either or. Step one, LLC, then step two, S corp election. Is that correct?
Yeah, LLC and then step two. Good. Look at
Ah,
you.
girl, I'm learning. I ain't ready to be nobody's tax professional, but I'm learning. It only took me 15, 16 years. We gonna get there though. So then we had a question for Christopher. We may have already answered this, but how do you estimate what you should send in, Miss Cheryl?
Okay, so that's a loaded question. It goes off of your net income, but then there's other factors when you're deciding how much estimated tax to send in as your filing status, because that's going to lower your taxable income. So I'm going to say at least put aside 10% of your net income that you make. And talk to a tax professional because there's a lot of factors you have to look at when deciding, what your estimated tax payment is.
Look, we're going to keep saying this, guys, because I'm telling you, that is really going to be the final answer on everything. The final
Yeah.
answer is going to be whatever your tax professional advises you to do after y'all discuss it. And they should be able to explain to you why.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot of factors. Other income you might have.
yes.
It's a lot to take in.
So a related question to that somebody else asked, and again, I already feel like it's going to be a little bit of talk to your tax professional, but Jesse wants to know, Jesse said they also receive Social Security. Would they include that income with their signing agent income when they make their estimated tax payment?
That is a great question. That's a great question. That's kind of what I was trying to say that last question. So you do want to consider other sources of income because it's going to change your tax bracket and what you owe. So you do want to consider that when making your estimated tax payment, all of your income.
Awesome. So, because again, guys, I know some of you are full-time signing agents. That's all you do. But some of you guys may be part-time signing agents. You may have a W-2 job as well as your signing agent income. You may receive Social Security income. You may receive income from other sources. So talk to your tax professional. But yes, these different things need to be taken into consideration when you're figuring out what to do for your estimated tax payment.
Especially Social Security, that's tricky because sometimes that might not be taxable. So you really need to talk to a tax professional, but you do want to consider it.
Awesome. All right. Another question we've got here from Jennifer. She said she got an EIN just using her name as a sole proprietor, no DBA. Is this going to be a problem come tax time? And should I go ahead and create a different business name and get a DBA for clarity?
So I guess when you got the EIN, did you not attach a name to the EIN? Because normally you would attach a name to that EIN. You could still use that without a DBA. That's more of a state thing. Might be a problem with the state, but IRS wise, no, it's not going to be a problem. Second part, should I go ahead and create a different business name and get a DBA? No, you could use that same business name. Since you already got the EIN, apply for the DBA for that name. Did that answer the question? I hope it did.
I think so. Jennifer, if that didn't, let us know.
Yeah.
But basically, you can use the current EIN that you have and you can just apply or get a DBA now. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So
That's not a problem with the IRS. Maybe the state-wise it could be, but with the IRS, that's not a problem.
Gotcha. So pretty much the IRS is just going off that EIN, correct? Okay. Awesome. All right. And then another question I think we kind of answered again, which is better and easier to use, QuickBooks or Notary Gadget?
I like QuickBooks. I don't know. It's up to you. That's really up to you.
It is. And guys, one of the things that I see all the time from new and aspiring signing agents, they always want to know what is the best. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is that there often isn't a one best thing. You have to find the thing that is best for you.
Yeah.
Things that I like, things that are the best for me, may not be the best for you. There are some things that I use and I like, and they're the best for me just because I've used them for forever. They might even be kind of old school, but it's the best for me because I don't feel like learning nothing new. I know how to do it. I can work it very well. So there really is no best per se. There's no one best. This is where you as a self-employed person and a business owner, you got to get your hands a little bit dirty. You got to play with both of them. You got to talk to your tax professional and see which one is the best for you and your situation. It's a good question, though. But like I said, I get it all the time. All right, let's see. We've got from Crystal. I started my LLC at home. Now I have an office setting. What would benefit me best? Leaving it under my home or transferring it to my office as far as tax planning? So I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Are you saying that just the address of your LLC was your home address and now you've got a business address? I don't know. Cheryl, any insight or anything you think it might?
LLC at home and now have an office setting. So it sounds like to me, maybe you got an office address. You could leave it as is. So when it comes to tax deductions with that, either you're renting space and you can write off the rent, or you can do a home office deduction. Hopefully that clarifies.
So yeah. So deduction wise.
Right.
Okay.
So deduction wise, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. That's trying to be asked.
See, and my brain didn't even go there because I'm not a tax professional. Boom. All right. And then we talked about this, but we're going to talk about it again. What if you do not pay quarterly estimated taxes?
You are penalized.
You will end up paying more money.
Yeah.
The IRS will be very unhappy with you and they will send you a nasty gram. Actually, they're kind of polite at first. Hey, you owe us a whole lot of extra money. Make sure you get that in. You're going to get penalized. And look, there's really no sense, guys, in paying more money. We already got to give them the tax money, right? Who wants to give them penalties and interest? And again, I did. Go back and watch my other video, guys. My first 2-3 years as a self-employed person, I did this to taxes. I did nothing for like the first 3 years. And I paid a lot of penalties and fees, and it took me several years to get caught up after doing that. So please do not do that.
And now you're on the right track getting refunds. See
that? All right. So another question, and we might have touched on this before. If you're using a virtual address, can you still say you have a home office? I live in an apartment.
You absolutely can. It's a home office deduction.
So even though you have a virtual address, you are still working in your home. So you may not see people in your home. Like I never see clients in my home, but I work here in my home.
And there's certain rules with the home office deduction that you need to talk to a tax preparer about. And to your virtual address, that's actually deductible too. So the amount that you're paying for that, you can deduct that and still do a home office.
Awesome. All right. Another good question here. What can I do for payment? I already used my social security number and now create an EIN.
Okay, so you need to talk to the people that made the payment to you and have them fill out a W-9 form before the end of the tax year so they could issue it correctly under your EIN number instead of your social. Just send them an updated W-9.
So she's basically talking about, guys, as independent contractors, like the different signing services that we work with, they want a tax ID number because the IRS wants to know how much money we got from them because they want their taxes. And when you fill out that form, you have to provide a tax ID. So it sounds like Yesenia previously gave her social security number because she didn't have an EIN. And now she's going to switch over to an EIN. So she just needs to send all of these different people that she works with an updated W-9 form with her EIN,
Right.
so that now all of that income will report under her EIN. Is that
And do
correct?
it before the end of the year. Yes,
Awesome.
that's
All
correct.
right, so you got a little bit of time. She said before the end of the year, so you got about a
Easy
month and a
fix.
half. Get on it. Get on it. Let's see. Jen, I don't know. We might be missing a part of this. What if I wait until the end of the year when I file my personal taxes? I'm gonna scroll back up. I think maybe you had asked about estimated taxes. So you had asked about estimated taxes. So I'm gonna assume you're saying, well, what if I just wait until the end of the year when I do my personal taxes to do my estimated taxes? Again, penalties and
Yeah.
fees. Penalties and fees. Penalties and fees.
Nice.
This is one of the things, guys, that we have to do as self-employed people. You gotta pay those quarterly estimated taxes. So you just got to do it. You just got to do it. Let's see. Here's another question. I don't know if maybe if your notary business is under your LLC, how do you add your administrative assistant services as a related service? So I don't know if this is necessarily a tax professional.
So is the admin assistant service you're getting income from? If that's the case,
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're adding other services. They have a notary business. They started an LLC for their notary business, and now they're adding other services.
So you just have to keep track of those services tax-wise, the income. Because again, those notarial fees is not subject to self-employment tax, but your admin service income would be. So you just need to separate the income.
So is this going to be another one of these areas where our accounting software is going to be very important?
And QuickBooks is good for that.
Gotcha.
Separating that income.
So if you're doing multiple things, Notary Gadget is not going to be the best accounting software for you, because Notary Gadget is going to be specifically for your notary stuff. Right. If you decide to start adding other services on, field inspections, admin assistant, document preparation, wedding officiating, whatever else it is, then I definitely suggest you use a different accounting software like QuickBooks. Notary Gadget is not going to be your best bet. Okay, here's another good one. How do you track the number of notarial acts for loan signings for purposes of not paying the self-employment tax on those? So you should be keeping your notary journal anyway. And if you are keeping track of your notarial acts for tax purposes, your notary journal is going to have your listing of your notarial acts. This is one of these areas where Notary Gadget is a little bit better than QuickBooks, because with Notary Gadget, even if you're doing a loan signing, which we're getting paid one lump amount of money to do a lot of different things. We're getting paid to notarize these documents. We're getting paid to get these documents signed, print out. We're getting paid one lump for a bunch of different things. In Notary Gadget, you can very easily separate out how many notarial acts you did if you are counting all of those notarial acts for tax purposes. So
look at you, Kendra. Good.
I'm learning. But your notary journal should, that's your record of every notarial act that you perform, even if you do a loan signing. So even if it has to go down to old school pen and paper, you should be able to count from your notary journal how many notarial acts you've done. So anything to add to that, ma'am?
No, you answered that beautifully.
All right. We're going to try to get a couple more in. Y'all know I try to end this at the hour. We got a bunch of them. I'm trying to get them in there. Let's see. I see some that are similar that we've kind of already answered. Here's one. I have a W-2 job and I have just started notary work. I've completed less than 5 assignments to date. Do I even need to file?
So if you get a 1090, they issue a 1099. If you get over $600 in income, then you do need to file it. But even if not, if you have deductions from it, I would still file that to lower your taxable income.
Okay, awesome. So basically, even if I didn't necessarily make a lot of money,
you got the deductions you can write off.
That's good. See, I hadn't even thought about that.
Lowers your taxable income.
And especially in your first year, guys, you're paying for signing agent training, you're buying your printer, you're buying your supplies, you're buying your paper, you're spending a lot of money in that first year to get set up. So even if you didn't make a lot of money,
you want to write that off.
it could be very beneficial to get those deductions in there. That's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see. Who else we got? Similar to that, we're going to basically put it in there. What if you made $1,000 less in business income? Do you still file taxes?
Yes.
Boom. The IRS want all their money.
Yeah.
Here's another one. That should be a quick one. Can you write off your cell phone bill if you use it to get signings?
Okay, that is a good question. You can, but the IRS has been doing a lot of audits when it comes to cell phone use because you're using it for personal time most of the times too. So you might want to do like 50% if you're using it for personal, like do a percentage. Like I have my own line, business line. So I write that off fully so it's not mixed with my personal line.
Gotcha. And then we've covered this a couple of times. Other than taking away the burden of a large payment, is there any actual benefit to paying estimated taxes as opposed to including everything with your personal taxes? Yes. Not getting fined by the IRS.
Yeah.
I know y'all want easy, but the IRS wants what they want, and we don't have any choice but to give these people what they want. Let's see. Here's another question. Can you take deductions on income as a 1099 contractor without forming a business? Income is received under your social security number.
You sure can.
Awesome. There we go. Easy. We kind of answered that one. Some of these, look, I'm going to refer some of y'all to get a tax professional. Yep. Some of these are really specific. So you're definitely going to want to get a tax professional on that. Again, one that we kind of answered, do you even pay even if you're not making money? You can count those deductions though. Count those deductions, right?
So it says, do you pay even if, are you talking about, do you pay estimated tax payments if you're not making any money? No. Because it's based off of net income, but you do want to file it on your taxes to take the deduction. I mean, I would advise it. You don't have to, but that would be my advice.
Awesome. Let me hit one more. Let me see. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. Some of y'all y'all got some good ones on here, but I'm definitely gonna need y'all to hit up your tax professional. All right, let's see. Oh, and then somebody said they missed the quarterly dates. Can I pull those up again? I certainly can. And again, there's also a link down in the description box that will take you to this website. But the quarterly dates are April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. But again, in the description box of the YouTube video, there is a link that will take you to this so that you can see it directly on the IRS website. Guys, woo! This was a good, I've enjoyed this today. I feel like I said, it only took me 16 years to kind of get this right. Hopefully it won't take you guys 16 years. Hopefully y'all will take advantage of this information. Guys, again, I cannot reiterate this enough. Please get a tax professional to help you with your taxes. And if you just got some more questions, you don't even know where to start, Miss Cheryl has been kind enough to offer free 15-minute phone consultations. So if you've got maybe a short, specific question that you need to ask, or maybe you want to talk to her to just say, hey, maybe I need you to be my tax professional. I don't know. I don't even know if she's taking new people. She got me. I'm a handful. She may be like, that's all I can deal with, because KENDRA is more than enough. But if you have more questions and you would like to talk to Chryl Levels, down in the description box of this video, I do have the link to her website. I've got her email address, and I have a link where you can set up a phone consultation. Now, look, y'all, my people, I'm gonna tell y'all this though. Don't embarrass me. If y'all use that link, please show up for your phone consultation, because Miss Cheryl is about business. She's gonna be there. She's gonna be ready. So if you choose to use that link, make sure that it is at a time that you're gonna be able to actually do the call. If you need to cancel, please let her know ahead of time so she can take that time off of your calendar. And again, this is a 15-minute consultation, not a 1-hour consultation, not an all-day consultation. So come prepared, be succinct, be ready to get your quick 15 minutes in. And then also realize, guys, she's not going to be able to fix all your tax problems in 15 minutes. So again, this is a short little consultation to kind of help get you on the right track, and she can help you figure out what your next step is. So please, if you need her assistance, I'm going to tell you personally, she is amazing. Just this year, the amount of money that she saved me is enough for me to pay her for the rest of the time that I'm going to be working. So I'm telling you guys, she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. So Ms. Cheryl, I want to thank you so much
for
coming
me.
to hang out with us today. And guys, hopefully we can get Ms. Cheryl to come back. If y'all have deeper subjects about taxes that you would like her to go over, maybe just have an entire section on deductions. Right. I don't know, maybe have an entire section on this or an entire section on that. Let me know down in the comments, whether you're watching this video live or on the replay. Let us know. If I see a lot of people asking for the same type of information, we may be able to finagle and get Ms. Cheryl to come back and help us out, so we make sure that we are setting our businesses up right and doing our taxes properly from the start. But Ms. Cheryl, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with?
Find a tax professional. If not, I'm here to consult with y'all on this prosperous journey, just to get you in the right direction.
Perfect. Get a tax that is the moral of this story. Get a tax professional. But guys, again, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I'm gonna be back next month, probably the second Saturday in December, but you know the deal. To make sure that you don't miss my upcoming live streams, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and also make sure that you come to this YouTube video down in the description box to find the links to all of the stuff that we were talking about today. Thank you guys so much. It was good to see you. Ms. Cheryl, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I hope that everyone has a productive and prosperous day. Bye.